It has been 6 days since the deadly quake struck Syria and Turkey. They are the worst earthquake to hit Syria and Turkey in decades. At least 28,000 people have died, and the United Nations expects the death toll to double. The rescue workers are working day and night to find the survivors. Humanitarian assistance is paramount at the moment, especially in Syria, which has already been ravaged by more than a decade of civil war. But the pertinent question being, if politics is hampering the delivery of aid to Syria. To answer this, we have with us Major General Mohammed Abbas, who is a political and a military analyst. Welcome to the broadcast, Major General.
Thank you for joining to you and for your invitation.
Right, I want to first start by asking you if Syria is playing politics with the aid money.
Definitely no, because it is a humanitarian catastrophe. You know, it is not the field of playing politics in this area. It is a catastrophe of humanitarian, first of all. Next, it is our Syrian citizens' soul, which Syrian government is responsible to save and to keep them better. But unfortunately, the Western media push narratives that Syria is blocking aid to Idlib, but the reality is white helmets, the Al-Qaeda, Turkish proxy armies, the others are going to prevent Syrian or the Syrian convoy from entering to Idlib, and still waiting for a long time toward the main entrance in Saraqib, first of all. Next, I'm going to tell you that the Western media is going to demonize the Syrian government and try to say Syria is going to play politics for this humanitarian catastrophe. Yesterday, I was watching a Western channel TV. They said in their news that the United Nations Council of Security is going to hold a meeting next week to discuss how they are going to convince or to force Syrian government to let the aids or the convoy aids to come to Idlib. It's a very, very demoralizing way against Syrian government and against Syrian people, first of all. Next, I'm going to tell you that the humanitarian catastrophe is waiting humanitarian action, humanitarian movement.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just want to add to that you are saying that Syria is not playing politics with the aid money. But observers and experts have accused Damascus of directing aid towards loyalist areas. What do you have to say on that?
First of all, I'd like to tell you that Syria, after 12 years of war, we are very, very lack. We are very poor of equipment, of tools, of let's say, team of savers. We have less of management, of let's say, of machines to remove the rubble. Less of we don't have any type of sensors. For instance, the sensors who can listen or can know accurately where is the victim in the rubble. We don't have any kinds of let's say high technology which help the others to find the victims. And actually, I'd like to tell you that up to this condition, Syria is going first of all to help the very near first. Next, I'm going to tell you that the aids are very less from the other countries. We'd like to thank India, first of all. India sent some aids, Iran, Russia, Egypt, but about more, about 15 countries, but the other, no.
Right, like you mentioned that Syria has already gone through 12 years of civil war, and the situation in the country is that of a crisis within a crisis. My question to you is that what is the way out for the war-ravaged country at the moment?
Again, please, if you please.
Right, I'm saying that, like you mentioned, that Syria has already gone through 12 years of a civil war. The situation in Syria at the moment is of a crisis within a crisis. My question to you is that what is the way out for the war-ravaged country?
Thank you. First of all, if you don't mind, I'm going to correct. In Syria, there is no civil war. There are a terrorist war against Syrian people. It is an American terrorist war against, by using the proxy armies, what called ISIS, what called Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda. If you excuse me, Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan is terrorist, but in Syria it is a revolution against in Syria it is a revolution against the system or against the government. It is a war in Syria, yeah, happened since 12 years, but this war was directed by CIA and directed by the enemy of Syria to topple the government, to change the government, to dominate over the Syrian position for the geostrategic position for Syria's geopolitical situation of Syria. So I don't want to say that they are a civil war. First of all, next I'm going to say that Syrians now, after this earthquake, they are waiting electricity, waiting for medicine, waiting for shelters, waiting for a place protected them from cold and sun, and even stormy or sunny, snowy nights, or even from sunny days. Excuse me. Syrian people nowadays are waiting the aid from all over the world. Unfortunately, lots of countries are still hesitating to send that aid to Syria.
Right. So, in your viewpoint, do you think that the internal divisions within Syria are not complicating the rescue operations in the country?
Again, please excuse me.
I'm saying that, do you think that the divisions within Syria are not complicating the rescue operations in the country?
Yeah, I think that war affected seriously against Syrian people, Syrian state, and this effectiveness will let many things against that suffering, that catastrophe. We need to overcome that terrorist war, first of all. To overcome against that catastrophe, we need much more help of the other countries. We need lots of unity in Syria nowadays. I'd like to tell you something very important, that all Syrian people nowadays are going to send their aids to the position in Latakia, in Aleppo, in Hama, in Idlib. So who try to say that Syrian people are going to be divided nowadays? No, we are going to be much more together.
Right. Now, the rebel-held territory in Syria widely depends on flow of assistance from Turkey. And as of now, only one border crossing is opened between these two countries, which is also damaged because of the earthquake. In a situation like this, how exactly will the humanitarian aid be delivered to Syria?
Well, okay, the humanitarian aid can be come to Syrian Damascus airport, Aleppo airport, Latakia airport is still working. Three airports are still working nowadays. The road from Jordan, from Iraq is still working. But I'm going to tell you that the catastrophe is affected against Syrian and Turkish people. As people, we are together. We are feeling the same pain, same suffering, Syrian people and Turkish people. But unfortunately, to say that the other is still dividing between Syria and Turkish. First of all, next, the rubble is very let's say a big amount. So we need big missions. Face a little ability or little we need much more help to take off these rubbles and to find, nowadays we can say about victims, not about survivors. Unfortunately, to say that nowadays it's about 8 days after the earthquake, and very slowly the aids are coming to Syria.
Right. In what way can the international community help Syria at the moment?
The international community, I think he needs to know accurately, first of all, that we are not in a civil war. Next, they should know that Syria nowadays is very weak and need that help from all over the world, because up till now we are in racing in time. We are in racing. Excuse me. We are racing in time to find the survivor. If we can find after that moment another survivors. But after 2 days, I think we will check about the victims, not survivors, first of all. Next, I think we should call Biden and their government, the American government, to lift their procedures, the unilateral, what's called, they called it as a sanctions. Actually, it is a procedures against Syrian people, the unilateral sanctions, coercive procedures against Syrian people after this 12 years of suffering from these procedures. We call their humanitarian, we call the American people to know that Syrian people nowadays are suffering from earthquake, and the American earthquakes, which earthquakes made an earthquakes by the economic, by the society, by our infrastructure. Much more of our infrastructures nowadays are destroyed. Many places, many bridges, dams, factories, no economic try to offer, right, to offer the help from Syria inside. We need the calling. Nowadays I'm calling Mr. Biden, lift, right, your sanctions against Syria. We need to go on. We are a people build the civilization in the world.
Right, right. Thank you, Major General, for joining us on WION This Hour and sharing your insights with us. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.